What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're focusing on the Boston Bruins. Banged up forward core, obviously David Krejci, among other guys, are out hurt. And, as we talked about the defenseman, Cruz obviously back. But, the team's banged up right now, especially up front. And could the 18-year-old David Pastrnak be a possible option to fill in and come up and help out? Here's my thing. I was high on Pastrnak when I saw him play at the skate at the rookie camp in Wilmington over the summer. He just had some amazing skills, and you can really see how good he is offensively. Came over, missed most training camp with injury, but they decided to send him to the AHL rather than send him back to Sweden, and he has done nothing but light it up down there. He's averaging better than a point a game with 16 points in 15 games, and before he knocked that, here's the thing. I think it was I don't know if it was Proto who was the last 18-year-old forward to play in the AHL for a full season was Demis Gergensen's 2 years ago, and he had 17 points over the course of the season. Pasternak's averaging better than a point a game, and really showcasing why he was a first-round pick, and quite frankly, why didn't he go higher is a question a lot of people are asking him, including teams that I know we're not even 6 months away from the draft, but I'm sure teams looking at this kid going, how did he slip past us? Why didn't we nab him with a higher pick? And I think he's going to be one hell of a player in the NHL. Unfortunately, he only weighs 165 pounds, and that might be generous. But the question is, if the Bruins go into another tailspin, do you bring the kid up? It's a tough issue. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on an 18-year-old kid at all. I think he's got great maturity. I think he's really adjusted his game and his personality to North America. I don't think either one's a big issue for him. I think he doesn't feel out of place on or off the ice, which is obviously a great thing because you got to think about the cultural thing, and I don't think that's been a tough adjustment for him at all. But you got to ask yourself, what can we do to get back on track? What does Pastrnak bring to the table? Obviously, loads and loads and loads of offensive abilities, but at the same time, where do you plug him in? Obviously, I'm assuming once his fellow countryman David Krejci comes back, you put the two checks together. That's something to take a look at. I'm not sure right now. It's such a cop out answer that I'd love to see what he can do in the NHL, and I think at some point the season we'll see him. You almost have to see him, but at the same time, I don't want him to come up under those circumstances where the Bruins need him to be what turns the season around. That's not fair to him. It's not fair to the team at all. But we'll see what happens. And before anyone makes the Tyler Seguin comparison, 2011, it was an entirely different dynamic when they put Seguin in that 2011 Eastern Conference Final Series. Sagan had played that full season in the show. And the other thing is, Tyler Sagan's built a lot differently than this kid. This Sagan was, I remember shaking his hand when he was 19. He was built like a man. He just had muscles and had really come along and was filling out his frame. More so than I think Pastrnak has up to this point. That's not a knock on David Pastrnak at all. I'm just saying, I think he could afford to put on some upper body strength and bulk up a little bit before he's able to compete on night and night out basis in the NHL. But, could he come up and give the team a spark? Maybe. But again, you're putting a lot of pressure on the 18-year-old kid. So it's kind of one of those things that if you're going to do it, you got to be willing to live with the negative consequences, which could be, him not being able to meet the enormous expectations of the fans, and not playing playing like an 18-year-old kid, and not being able to be the singular force that gets the offense on track. So we'll see what happens. It's at the very least an interesting dynamic and kind of not the worst problem to have, that you get some teenager lighting up that you can bring up and maybe give the team a spark. But at the same time, how much can he actually do in the show right now? I think he needs more time in the AHL, and I've been saying that all along, and I sound like a broken record, and I sound like a buzzkill, but I think once he gets to the NHL, he's going to be one special player, and there's no use in rushing it. But, see what happens. Anyway, that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on David Pastrnak lighting up the AHL. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Well, later, guys.